Okay, well, good evening, everybody, or hello, whatever time of day you're watching this video. I am live. Now, I'm on a different device this week because last week technology was not my friend. So, on this device, I don't think that I can actually see if anyone's joining or if you're making comments. We shall see as we go along. But if you are watching live, if you want to put a hashtag live in the comments below the video, that would be great. Or if you're watching another time on replay, hashtag replay in the comments, that would be brilliant. I'd love to see you there. So this week I am talking about acknowledging loss. And I'm going to talk a bit about acknowledging pregnancy loss and baby loss, because this week is National Baby Loss Awareness Week. And it's a really important time for those of us who have gone through the experience of baby loss, because it just gives us an opportunity to think about our baby, have a moment to just be with our feelings and think about that, and acknowledge it. And that's what I really wanted to talk about, is about acknowledging and honouring your loss. So in terms of pregnancy loss and baby loss, it's something that happens to a lot more women than you would even think. There's thousands, unfortunately, of pregnancy and baby losses every single day. So if it's something that you have been through, I think it's really important to know that you are not alone. And however you might be feeling now or any other day about your loss is totally okay. It's okay however you're feeling, and it's completely normal. And I think if I could give one tip to anyone who is going through it or has been through it, is to say, allow yourself the time and the space to acknowledge it and to be with it, and be kind to yourself, because it's a really difficult experience, and all of us will have had a completely unique experience. So you'll have all of the emotion and thoughts and possibly trauma about the event itself and how it happened and when it happened and why it might have happened. Sometimes there is no clear why, but there might be in your particular circumstance. You've got everything that you are as a person that you've brought to that moment, and you've got everything after that moment. So all of our experiences are completely unique. And I think it's really important, like I said, to allow ourselves the time and space to acknowledge that and start to be at peace with that if we can. So I want to do this live to talk about acknowledging loss ceremonies, which is a service that I have developed based on my own personal experience, because my baby loss occurred when I was very early in pregnancy. So I wasn't able to have the opportunity to have anything like a funeral. So at the time I felt that was sort of like a gaping hole in the process that I needed to go through, because having a funeral is a sense of closure, and it's almost like a rite of passage, really, when that type of event happens, when someone passes away, no matter what stage in their life they're at. You would normally expect there to be a funeral, and that's something that all of us can relate to, going through that process and that being part of your grieving journey. But in very early pregnancy loss, that's not an option. So I primarily developed an acknowledging loss ceremony with pregnancy loss in mind, and being able to honour and acknowledge your loss of early pregnancy. But of course, an acknowledging loss ceremony could actually be about any type of loss. It could be about losing a beloved pet, family pet, who's been with you for years and is a beloved companion, and is like a member of the family. And of course, that will be a loss that is felt greatly by you and your family. It could be even about losing something like a career path. So it might be that you've been in a particular profession for a long, long time, and suddenly you're not going to be in that profession anymore for whatever reason. And that can be a form of loss that you need to process, and again, give yourself time to think about and acknowledge. And I'm by no means comparing those losses and saying, well, they're all the same, because again, everyone's experience is unique and everyone handles different stresses and different things in different ways. But a ceremony can be a way for you to just take stock and acknowledge and start to move towards a more peaceful place. So thinking about pregnancy and baby loss, in terms of having a ceremony, you might think, well, a ceremony, because, you know, people tend to think about wedding ceremonies. That's the most sort of typical ceremony you might have in life. And typically a wedding ceremony can be quite a big affair. It's obviously a happy occasion, lots of guests, lots of things going on. It's a big party. So it might feel like, well, how can a ceremony sit with something like baby and pregnancy loss? But a ceremony doesn't have to be a big elaborate affair. It can be just you and your partner, and it could be me as your celebrant. It could actually just be you. If you wanted to just have a moment with yourself and me as your celebrant, we could do that, just the two of us. It doesn't have to involve lots of different people. On the other hand, it might be that your experience of baby loss actually was a very sort of, for want of a better word, transparent event in your life. So let's say that your whole family knew all about it. You discussed it with them. You know, they're very close to you and to that experience, and it's touched each of them. So it might be actually that you do want to have an intimate and small ceremony, but including partner. Maybe you have other children that have been affected by the loss. Maybe your parents you're particularly close to and would want to have as part of that ceremony. That's absolutely fine. In terms of the content of a ceremony, there's lots of different things that you could choose to do to acknowledge and honour your loss. So the thing that comes to mind most readily is the idea of planting a tree, or planting it could be a rose bush or a shrub of some kind. And it might be that you just want to plant that in your garden. It could be with a tree, for example. It could be that you contact a charity who plant trees on your behalf, and you can pay a donation to have that tree planted in the memory of your baby. They're all options, and they're all things that we could work with to create a ceremony around. There's other things that you might want to do, such as having a wishing tree. So it's not an actual tree. It's like a wooden model, if you like, that anyone who's involved, if you're having family at your ceremony, anyone that's involved can write a message to the baby. And can hang that on the tree, and you can keep those as keepsakes for, you know, their wishes and thoughts and their love for the baby that's been lost. So that's the ceremony part of that, and I've got lots of information on my website if you want to know more about acknowledging loss ceremonies. The other service that I offer is actually a coaching and mentoring service. So if pregnancy loss or baby loss is something that you've been through, and you feel that actually you just need some support in moving through that, and starting to move towards a more peaceful place, and starting to heal and starting to move through your journey of grief, because let's remember it is a grief process. You are grieving for your lost baby, no matter when your loss occurred, whether it was very early in pregnancy or much later, or even, of course, at birth or after birth. It is a grief process, and I think sometimes it's easy to compare yourself to others and think, oh well, their experience was much worse than mine, so you know I don't deserve, it's not justified that I should need support, or why aren't I over this yet, because maybe I didn't meet my baby, or you know, they weren't with me for very long, so why am I so upset about this? Every emotion, every experience is valid, and is no less valid than the next person's, regardless of the circumstances. So it may be that you feel mentoring and coaching support might be really useful for you. So I've developed a coaching program that is a 7-week program or 7-module program. It's again on my website, so there's various different elements week by week to work through in terms of moving towards peace and healing, and self-care, and things and ideas that we can discuss that you could do, that are quite tangible, that you can use to acknowledge and find the right way for you to acknowledge your loss. So as I said, all that information is on my website. I hope that you have found this useful this evening. It's quite a short live tonight, but I think I've said what I would like to say to you. If you've got any questions at all, or you want to find out any more information whatsoever, please do contact me. You can message me through Facebook or Instagram. You can get in touch with me on my website. As I said, all the information that I've spoken about is on the website on the services page. Just scroll down and you'll see Acknowledging Loss Ceremonies and the Moving Towards Peace coaching program. So do get in touch if you've got any questions at all, or if you'd like to sign up to my newsletter, you can do that, where you'll just have a little weekly drop in your inbox from me, talking about all kinds of things to do with ceremonies and giving tips and advice about that. So it might be that you're sitting there thinking, this might be something that I want, but I'm just not sure. Just get in touch, and I completely understand that it may take a lot. It may feel like it's going to take a lot just to even pick up the phone or type that first message, but please do, and I am more than happy to talk to you, and you know, let's have a chat, and let's work together, and let me help you move through it with you. Okay, so I'll see you next week at the same time, same place. Look after yourselves. Bye.